Hello everyone, welcome back to another installment of White Lives Matter. This one announced, the previous one not announced, but that previous video about the Lafayette Police Department is a part of White Lives Matter. Yes, this is a lapel mic. I insist on holding it because it's very cute and it has this cute little boom here. So last night there was a riot in Denver, and if you look on Twitter, you will see it trending under Quiznos. I saw Quiznos, I clicked on it. It was about Denver riots. So at first I believed it was a Black Lives Matter protest, as a lot of people are trying to push it as, especially the news source that it came from. However, upon reviewing the footage, I noticed that there were a lot of missteps. First of all, they had a van show up, pass out shields and helmets instead of showing up with their own, like most protesters. Second, everyone's white, and I know that we've seen a lot of that, especially in Portland, but even in Portland, some of the people are white. Some of the people are black, and there are other people of color, and they have like a speech and like black leaders at the very least. It all depends on population, obviously, but the protests are black-led, despite a large white majority. And of course some otherwise POC involved. As far as the news source I saw, there was nothing leading up to this. People just rushed out and started destroying property right away. But it is assumed that it's a Black Lives Matter protest because they targeted the Denver police station. And they burned an American flag. So I'm still willing to believe that this had something to do with Black Lives Matter and anti-fascism, because they went straight for the police station instead of, from what I saw, it seems like they went straight for the police station instead of just like causing chaos throughout town. But better commenters have speculated that these are actually white nationalists that are manipulating the Black Lives Matter and anti-fascist movement, and are getting people stirred up to sway people to vote for Trump. Or wherever else goes on in the local elections in Denver and Colorado, of course. Nothing is ever about the presidential election. We can't be so short-sighted to think that everything weighs on that. Your local elections are actually what matters more. But moving on. So, like I said, there was no speech beforehand of like the black leaders leading the event. There were no snacks, no music, no partying, which most protests have been. And also, this is very abrupt. And a part of me wants to say that because of Denver, because Denver hasn't, from what I've seen, Denver hasn't really been stepping up to the plate like a lot of other places, especially here, Iowa, Portland, Seattle. A lot of other cities come to mind before Denver does. And from what I saw, and I could be wrong, I might have saw these clips might have been adjusted or something. I didn't really see any like Black Lives Matter signs, no say their names chanting, none of that. So it could have just been like pure raw anger. It's like, you know what, let's just go fuck up the police station. But Quiznos is trending because someone broke into a Quiznos and got a Coke out and just said, I wanted a Coke. And they destroyed the Quiznos, like the white supremacists destroyed the AutoZone up here. And I think they found out it was a white supremacist that burned down the police station. A lot of fires and destruction have been caused by white nationalists taking advantage of the Black Lives Matter movement and the current anti-fascist movement to make people look bad and sway people away from caring about black lives. And if some destructive white people are making you stop caring about black lives, you are also a destructive white person. You're just more passive than they are. And I don't have any sympathy for you. But in the meantime, based on what I saw, okay, first of all, I'm all about destroying this country. that my ancestors built for free and that I, they, nor anyone else in between ever got reparations for. I don't give a fuck about businesses and buildings. But what I will admit is that these could be white supremacists. It is Denver. It is Colorado. And I'm saying that having lived in Pueblo and Colorado Springs, I will totally believe that those were a group of white supremacists. Or what started off maybe as a group of white supremacists that grew into people thinking that, the movement was genuine. Destroying Denver and the police station. And the response from the Denver police was also very odd. They look quite calm. And we already know police officers aren't calm. Remember, Colorado is where Elijah McClain died. Was murdered. So yeah, the way the crowd looked and the way the police responded, I have my doubts. Like, fuck the police and everything. Like, destroy that shit. But like, I'm iffy. If it was the proper people out there doing it, I'd be like, yes, Denver Black Lives Matter. Fuck yes, burn that shit down. But like, it seems like there was some dubious shit going on this time. So y'all be careful out there. It doesn't need to be a secret that there are people out there hijacking and co-opting Black Lives Matter and anti-fascism to cause destruction, to sway people away from basically not being fascist. And for some reason it works. Either people can't tell the difference between actual anti-fascists and people just out causing destruction, or they were on the fence in the first place and it's just easy to, for whatever problems they're having, it's easy to sway them away from thinking that people's lives matter, especially marginalized people. And also, I just don't know. Like, I'm still kind of, after I said it, I was still kind of sitting on, hey, the police are pretty calm, and we've seen the police, like, really cut up and, like, smash skulls and shit for, like, way less than they did. They set shit on fire. Like, so yeah, but I definitely suggest that you all get on Twitter and maybe it's even on Instagram and stuff like that and watch the footage for yourselves and you decide. And by no means let my opinion sway you. Definitely look at it for yourself. But yeah. Take care of yourselves, each other, fuck the police, and see y'all after the election, I guess. I'll be back before then, but things will probably look very different after the election.